Well, that didn't even give you a boom warning, did I? No, it wasn't really much of a boom. It was a bit of a boom, more than boom. Yeah, anyway, I'm Thundercloud, here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. For Chillin Tuesdays, washing away the garbage, living rainbows after rains. Yes, let's have some fun and games. Linguistic ones, that is. You know, David McKee Wright, no relation to Judith Wright the poet. Well, I was a journalist in Sydney when he passed away. But he was born on the 6th of August, 1869. He was in Ireland. He was a poet and journalist active in New Zealand and Australia. Born in the town of Ballynaskey, I think that's how you say it, County Down, Ireland, on the 6th of August. He was the second son of William Wright, a Presbyterian missionary, and his wife Annie McKee. His mother remained only briefly in Ireland following his birth, and he was cared for by his grandmother until his parents returned from missionary work in Syria. Annie Wright died in 1877, and shortly after the family moved to London. David was educated at Glasgow School, Ballynaskey, then Pope's School, London, and the engineering section of Crystal Palace School. But illness kept him home. But he read a lot, and he began to compose poetry. He ran away from his family on 3 occasions because he didn't like his father's second wife. Anyway, they left for Christchurch in 1887. And he journeyed to the Aparima River and Lake Manapuri and was employed as a shepherd at the Puketoi station and later at Scobie's Mackenzie Hakataramea Valley station from 1890. He contributed verses and stories to the Otago Witness, and from 1892 to the Christchurch Press. Excuse me. He attacked the Liberal government, in particular the Minister of Lands and Agriculture, in his satirical prose and verse. In 1897, he moved to Dunedin and was enrolled at the University of Otago, and where he was awarded the first Stewart Prize for Poetry for the poem Queen Victoria in 1837. Queen Victoria 1837 it was called, in 1897. He failed to make a success of his studies for the Presbyterian ministry, and ended his first year. He took up preaching in Alexandria. So he wrote a lot of books and stuff like that. Anyway, he came to Australia. In 1910, he moved to Sydney. His contributions to the Bulletin increased, and he also wrote for the Sun and Sydney Mail. He, by 1916, the red page of the Bulletin, he also wrote for. Most of these contributions were anonymous. Okay. What else have they got about him here? The advocates of literary nationalism attacked his conservative poetic and editorial practice, and he became embroiled in controversy over the editing of Henry Lawson. Oh, sacrilege. Edits to bring about reconciliation between Wright and his wife failed, and from 1913 to 1918 he lived with Beatrice Florence Osborne, and they had 4 sons before he broke with her to live with the poet and actress Zora Cross. Oh my God, she's another one in the Hall of Fame here, Zora Cross. Well, there you go. A bit of scandal. They had 2 daughters. Gosh, he had a few kids, eh? In 1926, his health declined and he died of a heart attack on the 5th of February 1928, just before this building was built, really, in the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. So he lived in Australia for, 18 years, the last 18 years of his life. All right. So, David McKee Wright, not a very well-known poet, but definitely a good poet. Now, the very first one, Amelia Jane by David McKee Wright. In the lands away beyond the sea, where Khan and Sultan rule, where they drink their coffee thick and black and sip the sherbet cool, they have white Caucasian girls for slaves, as well as the Negro black. And it seems to me in our free land that slavery is coming back. It's fenced about with custom and law, and they give it a prettier name. But spite of the paltry wage that's paid, it's slavery all the same. In a handsome home, in a stately town, is worthy Mrs. McFay, chairwoman known of a Christian guild. For a noble dame is she. Her doors are open to strangers, all who call and leave their card. But Amelia Jane, who left last week, declares that the place was hard. Surely Amelia Jane was wrong. Oh, she should have been happy to stay, for she's only hanging around the town looking for work today. Such a good woman is Mrs. McPhee, toiling with voice and hand in the cause of the poor little Indian girls away in a distant land. Such a good woman is Mrs. McPhee, for hers is an open door, and her name's at the top of the charity list for the wives of the drunken poor. But Amelia Jane has a hungry look with hollows under her eyes. She says she was starved, but everyone knows Amelia Jane tells lies. Such a good woman is Mrs. McPhee. She has family prayers at night, and she loves, she says, to make the lives of her poorer sisters bright. Amelia Jane has a hardened heart. She talks of her weary feet and says that in spite of all of the prayers, she never had enough to eat. It was hard to join the chorused words of "Give us our daily bread," and after washing the dishes up, to stagger hungry to bed. Once in the week, Amelia Jane got out for an hour or two. Once in a fortnight went to church with another slave she knew. She never had time to read a book, and the changeless mill went round, and nobody knew how she ached at night while body and soul were ground. But these are the lies of Amelia Jane, and it's wrong to set them down. And everyone knows that Mrs. McPhee is the kindest woman in town. Silly and light is Amelia Jane. She has no ideas of her own. You never would think her the bright little girl that you once on a time had known. She was clever enough when she went to school. She was pretty enough in her way. She hasn't improved her schoolmates think when they met her in town today. And it's all her fault. For whatever the cause, I'm sure that Mrs. McFay is a model mistress in every way, and with that you'll all agree. In the lands away beyond the sea, where Khan and Sultan rule, where they drink their coffee thick and black and sip the sherbet cool. They have white Caucasian girls for slaves, as well as the Negro black. And it seems to me in our free land that slavery's coming back. It's fenced about with custom and law, and they give it a prettier name. But spite of the paltry wage that's paid, it's slavery all the same. David McKee Wright, Amelia June. There we go. These are he was born in the colonial times, 1869. Those days, Australia and New Zealand were kind of still thought of as one in a way. Dustily over the highway pipes the loud nor'wester at morn, wind and the rising sun and waving tussock corn. It brings to me days gone by when first my ears it rang. The wind is the voice of my home, and I think of the songs it sang. When fresh from the desk and ledger I crossed the long leagues of the sea, the old worn world is gone and the new bright world is free. The wide wild pastures of old are fading and passing away. All over the plain are the homes of the men who have come to stay. I sigh for the good old days in the station where again. But the good old new days are better, I would not be heard to complain. It is only the wind that cries with tears in its voice to me, of the dead men low and the mould who never came with me over the sea. Some of them down in the city under the marble are laid, some on the bare hillside in the mound by the lone tree's shade, and some in the forest deep of the west in their silence lie with the dark pine curtain above shutting out the blue of the sky. And many have passed from my sight, whither I never shall know, swept away in the rushing river or caught in the mountain snow. All the old hands are gone who came with me over the sea, but the bright land that we made our own is the same bright land to me. There are dreams in the gold of the Kauai. When the rats are breaking in bloom, I can hear the rich murmur of voices in the deeps of the fern-shadowed gloom. Old memory may bring me her treasures from the land of the blossoms of May, but to me the daisies are dearer, and the gorse on the riverbed grey, while the mists on the high hilltops curling the dawn-haunted haze of the sea. To my fancy a bridal veil's lifting from the face of the land of the free. The spear grass and cabbage trees yonder, the honey-belled flax in its bloom, the dark of the bush on the sidings, the snow of the mountains that loom, golden and grey in the sunlight, far up in cloud-fringed blue, are the threads with old memory weaving the line and the line of my life running through. And the wind of the morning calling as ever a song for me of hope for the land of the dawning in the golden years to be. An old colonist's reverie by David McKee Wright. Oh, same one, next page. It's a double up. This PDF that I'm reading out of was put together by Poem Hunter, the world's poetry archive. And here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame, we do have an Australian Poetry Library and Archive. And if you would like to send us your poetry books or any poetry books that you find, you can mail them to 144 Bradley Street, Guyra, 2365. Thanks very much. Hey, now, while I'm getting ready for this, write in the comments where you're from. Tell us, and I'll give you a special thumbs up and a hello back after the show. All right, don't forget to give this a like and a thumbs up. Yeah, one of them things. Okay. And will thou leave me thus? And wilt thou leave me thus? Say nay for shame, to save thee from the blame of all my grief and grame. And wilt thou leave me thus? Say nay. And wilt thou leave me thus, that hath loved thee so long, in wealth and woe among, and is thy heart so strong as for to leave me thus? Say nay. And wilt thou leave me thus, that hath given thee my heart, never for to depart, neither for pain nor smart? And wilt thou leave me thus? Say nay. And wilt thou leave me thus, and have no more pity of him that loveth thee? Hellas thy cruelty, and wilt thou leave me thus? Say nay. David McKee Wright, and wilt thou leave me thus? Bavarian Gentians by David McKee Wright. Not every man has gentians in his house. In soft September, a slow, said Michaelmas. Bavarian gentians, big and dark, only dark, darkening the daytime torchlight with the smoking blueness of Pluto's gloom. Ribbed and torch-like with their blaze of darkness, spread blue down, flattening into points, flattened under the sweep of white day, torch of the blue smoking darkness, Pluto's blue dark days, black lamps from the halls of Dis, burning dark blue, giving off darkness, blue darkness, as Demeter's pale lamps give off blight, lead. Give me them, lead the way. Reach me a gentian, give me a torch. Let me guide myself with the blue forked torch of this flower, down the darker and darker stairs, where blue is darkened on blueness, even where Persephone goes. Just now, from the frosted September to the sightless realm, where darkness is awake upon the dark, and Persephone herself is but a voice, or a darkness, invisible, enfolded in the deeper dark of the arms Plutonic, and pierced with the passion of dense gloom among the splendor torches of darkness, shedding darkness on the lost bride and her groom. Forget not the tried intent. Forget not yet the tried intent of such a truth as I have meant, my great travail so gladly spent. Forget not yet. Forget not yet when first began the weary life he knows since when. The suit, the service none can tell. Forget not yet. Forget not yet the great assays, the cruel wrong, the scornful ways, the painful patience in delays. Forget not yet. Forget not yet. Forget not this, how long ago hath been and is. The miss, the mind that never meant amiss, forget not yet. Forget not then thine own approved, the which so long hath thee so loved, whose steadfast faith yet never moved. Forget not this. Hector. He strode across the schoolroom in July. Great Hector, clanging in his brazen mail, all the cringing Greeks with pale faces pale creaked into jabbering caves and turned to fly. Achilles, safe because he could not die, cheated and won. All the lines grew stable. The life was gone from out the shabby tale, and back in Homer's teeth we flung the lie. We fought for Troy behind a mossy wall. We burned the Grecian ships below a tree. Ah, that great war was 40 years ago. Yet still I know that Hector did not fall. For when the bell rang truce to friend and foe, Achilles, lying Greek, was under me. Hector. By David McKee Wright. I abide and better abide. I abide and better abide, and after the old proverb, the happy day. And ever my lady to me doth say, let me alone and I will provide. I abide and tarry the tide, and with the abiding speed well ye may. Thus I abide always, neither obtaining nor yet denied. Ay, me, this long abiding seemeth to me as who saith, a prolonging of a dying death, or a refusing of a desired thing. Much were it better for to be plain than to say abide and yet shall not obtain. And tonight I'm reading on Chillin Tuesday the poetry of David McKee Wright. Which poems have you liked so far? Leave us a comment down below. I find no peace. I find no peace, and all my war is done. I fear and hope. I burn and freeze like ice. I fly above the wind, yet I cannot arise. And naught I have in all the world I season, that loseth nor locketh holdeth me in prison. And holdeth me not yet can I escape no wise, nor letteth me live nor die at my device. And yet death of death it giveth me occasion. Without even I see, and without tongue I plain. I desire to perish, and yet I ask health. I love another, and thus I hate myself. I feed me in sorrow and laugh in all my pain. Likewise displeaseth me both life and death. And my delight is causer of this strife. I find no peace. David McKee Wright. In Spain. In Spain, David McKee Wright. Tagus, farewell, that westward with thy streams turns up the grains of gold already tried. With spur and sail, for I go seek the Thames. gainward the sun that sheweth her wealthy pride, and to the town which Brutus sought by dreams, like bended moon doth lend her lusty side. My king, my country alone for whom I live, of mighty love the wings for this me give. Is it possible? Is it possible that so high debate, so sharp, so sore, and such a rate, should end so soon and was begun so late? Is it possible? Is it possible so cruel intent, so hasty heat, and so soon spent from love to hate, and thence to relent? Is it possible? Is it possible that any may find within one heart so diverse mind, to change or turn as weather and wind? Is it possible? Is it possible for to turn so oft, to bring the lowest which was most aloft, and fall highest yet to light soft? Is it possible? It is possible. All is possible. Whoso list believe, trust therefore first and after prove. As men wed ladies by license and leave, all is possible. All is possible. Madam, without many words. Madam, without many words. Once I am sure ye will or know, and if ye will, then leave your boards and use your wit and show it so. And with a beck ye shall me call, and if of one that burneth away ye have any pity at all, answer him fair with yea or nay. If it be a yea, I shall be fain, but if it be nay, friends as before. Yet shall another man obtain, and I mine own, and yours no more. Yea, the poetry of David McKee Wright. All right, I'm just going to skip a couple of pages ahead here. My gallery, charged with forgetfulness. My gallery, charged with forgetfulness, thorough, sharp seas in winter nights doth pass. Between rock and eke mine enemy, alas, that is my lord, steereth with cruelness, and every hour a thought in readiness, as though that death were light in such a case. An endless wind doth tear the sail apace. Oh, of forced sighs and trusty fearfulness, a rain of tears, a cloud of dark disdain, hath done the weird cords of great hindrance, wreathed with error and eke with ignorance. The stars be hid that led me to this pain, drowned his reason that me should comfort, and I remain despairing of the port. David McKee Wright. My lute awake, perform the last labour that thou and I shall waste, an end that I have now begun, for when this song is sung and past, my lute be still, for I have done. As to be heard where ear is none, as lead to the grave in marble stone, my song may pierce her heart as soon. Should we then sigh or sing or moan? No, my lute, for I have done. The rocks do not so cruelly repulse the waves continually, as she my suit and affection, so that I am past remedy. whereby my lute and I have done. Proud of the spoil that thou hast got, of simple hearts through love's lot shot, by whom unkind thou hast them won. Think not he hath his bow forgot, although my lute and I have done. Vengeance shall fall on thy disdain that maketh but game honours plain. Think not alone under the sun, unquick to cause thy lovers plain, although my lute and I have done. Perchance thee lie weathered and old, the winter nights that are so cold, plaining in vain unto the moon, the wishes then dare not be told, care then who list, for I have done. And then may chance thee to repent that time that thou hast lost and spent, to cause thy lovers sigh and swoon, and thou shalt know beauty but lent, and wish and want as I have done. Now cease, my lute, this is the last labour that thou and I shall waste. An end it is that we begun, now this song's both sung and past. My lute, be still, for I have done. David McKee Wright. All right, okay, well that's it for me tonight from Chillin Tuesday here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame in Guyra. I'm Thundercloud, washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. Hey, check out our events webpage on our webpage, www.australianpoetryhalloffame.com.au/events. And we've got the New South Wales Bush Poetry Championship coming up in November, plus the Poets on the Mountain Festival. Tell everyone, yes, that's it. All right, I'm Thundercloud, I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow night for Wednesday Words. See you later. Boom! That's a better boom.